take our seats.
Yeah, baby.
We'll do it live. Fuck it.
Hey, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to A Godless Universe. Episode 12. We're live. Yeah, we're live. Thank you. Great. What a great studio audience. This episode number 5, guys. Thanks for, I had a really hard day today. Oh man. So I don't know if you remember Monday, I had a loose implant, and like a really bad loose implant. And it actually started last week. And so I tried to get an appointment. They wanted $600 just for me to go and say hi. Yeah, $600 to get an X-ray and to say hi. $600. So are you kidding me? I'm not gonna do that. So this was last week, and the tooth gets really, really loose. And so today, so I think I called this one place. They didn't have any appointments open until like December 16th. And I'm like, I've got a loose implant. I got to get something. They call me today. They say at 12:30. We've got an appointment at 1:30. I'm getting ready for the show. And I'm like, okay, I'll do it. So I zip down. I get my mouth is still frozen. And I go down there, and anyway, they actually extract the implant, and so I'm fixed. I should be able to eat in a few days, and anyway, so my mouth is frozen. My tongue is not frozen anymore, but my mouth is still frozen. So but it's coming. It's getting better. That's been anyway. So I didn't. But you know what? What we have set up for today. Avi Loeb is throwing punches. At Brian Cox and Neil deGrasse Tyson. It is a brawl, man. Actually, no. Wait a sec.
You went full retard, man.
Avi.
Never go full retard.
Yeah, Avi's going full retard. Like I say, I have no respect for the man. Now he's throwing punches at Brian Cox and Neil deGrasse Tyson in a brand new interview, which we're going to go over. We're going to watch it. We also have a NASA interview that he said. I mean, they're conspirators. All of these NASA people, they're nothing but conspirators. So we've got the interview lined up. We got the interview with Avi Loeb. I'm not sure it's a small YouTuber. I'm going to put the link in the description so you can see the full interview. It's like an hour and a half for full credit to the guy that got the interview. But Avi Loeb is swinging he's just saying just nonsense. This whole idea that he's just sticking to, that even now with all the new images that are released, he's still sticking to the idea that 3i Atlas is a fucking alien ship. I mean,
you went full retard, man.
Yeah.
Never go full retard.
No, never. I mean, you shouldn't use the same, soundbite that close to each other when you're going live. I had to. So we're going to go over that interview, especially the parts where he's calling everyone. He's calling out NASA. I got a NASA interview with the 4 conspirators at NASA. Oh my God, you just won't believe this. This is priceless. It's priceless. And some a pilot took pictures of the Aurora Borealis a few days back. That was absolutely it was just absolutely magnificent. So we're going to take a look at just some of the pictures. We got new 3i Atlas photos. I'm not sure if they're as the new NASA photos are not as relevant as the crap that Avi Loeb is spitting out. I don't know. I'm sure Avi Loeb is getting his fans. People are saying, oh yeah, it's aliens. All these people, there's so many people that are so in the bag for this alien stuff, right? That there's aliens living amongst us. Like there's troglodytes and lizards and aliens and, there's like literally a Stargate underneath the pyramids and stuff, right? Hey, you can believe what you want and that's cool. Nothing lines up scientifically. It's a fun story, but we're going to get to the Avi Loeb interview. I am a Brian Cox fan. So to hear Avi Loeb throw Brian Cox under the bus, and he threw Neil deGrasse Tyson under the bus. Yeah, both of them. Both of them. Both of them.
Stupid is as stupid does, sir.
Yes, it is, Gump. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So a couple of things, maintenance. Okay, what do you call it? Maintenance? I don't know what you call it. December 1st through December 4th, Underworld. I'm going to be reviewing the Underworld series, one on each day. December 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's gonna. You have to watch Kate Beckinsale in a tight, black, shiny outfit. That's really okay. Yeah, I'll do that. She does a great role, or does great in that role. So anyway, and I do that because I wanted to watch a series, but I thought, you know what? I'll throw it down. I'll throw it in the back half of December 1st through 4th. On Christmas Day, I'm going to do a full 8-hour stream on Christmas Day. So if you're not doing anything on Christmas Day, you can come and hang out. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of different things, like a lot. Well, obviously over 8 hours, there's going to be more than a few topics. We'll probably make up topics as we go along. And on Christmas Eve, I'm going to do 4 hours as well. So if you got no one to hang out with, I basically have no family. I was born in Europe. All my family's in Europe. I came here as a little baby. I was a baby when I came over. So Christmas Day, 8-hour stream. Join me. Christmas Eve, 4 hours. Join me. I will be the science Jesus. Ryan Reynolds can be Marvel Jesus. Can I be science Jesus? I don't know. I scratched because I had an implant pulled. When you scratch your face and you don't feel anything, you can't get to the itch. So I'm itchy here and I can't actually itch it. It's driving me. Although it's almost gone. So are you guys excited for Wicked? Wicked is coming out. I'm not. What's that actress? She's something for Man of the Year with Pierce Brosnan. Shouldn't girls just win girl stuff and guys win guy stuff? I know that there's extreme lefties that disagree. And that's fine, but I just saying, I'm not particularly excited for Wicked. I'd like to buy them both a sandwich. They're looking a little famished. Ariana Grande, and what's the other girl's name? I apologize to her. I don't, her, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I'll buy her a sandwich. Even though they got obviously 100 times my net worth. That's okay. I'll still buy the sandwich. That's what I do. I buy sandwiches. So that is that's all I got to say about that. And that's all I got to say about that. Science, Christmas. Oh, happy Thanksgiving. I got nothing to do on Thanksgiving or nothing. I'm not sure if I'm going to stream on Thanksgiving. I got it written down. I'm not even sure. This whole dentist thing in the afternoon that came out of left field through a little. But so there's a pilot. There's a pilot, like these Aurora Borealis images are absolutely. Where is it? Pilot captures jaw-dropping. This really is amazing. Let me get this set up. There we go. It's not great for the mobile stuff, but you kind of get my face in there. Let me get rid of. I just want to get rid of the advertising. SEMrush. Oh my God. Isn't it crazy? It doesn't matter what you do. You hit a button anywhere on your screen. Anywhere on your screen, you will get freaking advertising. It doesn't matter what you do. You could just be sitting there. It'll just pop up. You hit, oh my God. And I get it, right? People got to pay for stuff. So pilot captures jaw drop. Like, this is really awesome, right? The further north you are, the more amazing this stuff becomes. But pilot captures jaw-dropping Northern Lights show from 36,000 feet. I think he was in a Freedom Liner. When a severe G4 geomagnetic storm hit, this Dreamliner pilot had the perfect front row seat. I mean, what the? It's my buddy. It's my buddy from Los Angeles. How come he's not watching the stream? Maybe he is. So, I mean, that is freaking amazing. And of course, the Aurora Borealis is when the sun's particles come through and they come into the northern part where they come down through the magnetic field and they light up the sky. It's pretty amazing. As a matter of fact, a friend of mine, I was doing something here and he texted me, "Hey, you're gonna watch the Aurora Borealis tonight?" I didn't. But this was the same night. Last week, sky watchers across North America were treated to an extraordinary Northern Lights display. But airline pilot and photographer Matt Melnick may have had the best view of all. Now, there's 3 images. Get through all the advertising to get to the images, right? There's a second one. I mean, that's pretty. I mean, we could take these things for granted if we don't really understand and realize like that this is from 36,000 feet. Right? 36,000 feet in the air. It's totally awesome. Totally awesome. Aurora Borealis. If you guys never seen it, you got to get up north, go to Alaska in the wintertime. I mean, I spent 20 years in southern United States in Los Angeles. It takes a while. It takes a while to get used to that freaking cold. But that's pretty cool. Aurora Borealis. There you go. New images that I just thought it was. We definitely wanted to share those just because it's freaking cool. Science is cool. If there's anything, and that's what guys like Brian Cox do, right? Brian Cox, I know he's going on a 1.5 year world tour. He's, like astrophysicists are now rock stars because they can explain things in a way that gets people fired up. Science has become just like anything else. People love listening to these guys who can articulate. I mean, when you think about it, it's like a show that you actually leave smarter. Right? I mean, hey, look, you can like Taylor Swift, and I got nothing against Taylor Swift. The girl is uber freaking talented. She's done more music than I have. But I don't think you leave smarter after a Taylor Swift show. You do after a Brian Cox 2-hour. He's doing Wembley Stadium, 90,000 people to what? Come and watch an astrophysicist? It's awesome. It's awesome. And you'd like to think that this might be a direction that if more and more of our world gets fascinated with science, because I always say science is the only superpower. It's the only superpower we have. That's it. That's it. Actually, you know what? Come to think of it, about an hour ago, I did pray. I said, "Dear Lord, please get rid of the dental freezing before the show starts." It's gone. my prayers are answered. You don't tell me that prayers don't work. I prayed, it worked. I just kidding. Look, I'm not kicking religion in the schnazzers. Come on. If you believe in prayer, if you believe in wishing, that's cool. I mean, typically when even when someone sends me prayers, okay, you know what? I take it as a compliment because it's meant as a compliment, right? We don't need to, that's the, whether you believe anything is going to come of it or not is up to the recipient and the sender, I guess. If they both believe, then, it's. But I did pray before that this dental freezing be gone for the show, and it's gone. Prayers work, my friends. I win. For once, I win. We don't need that. Yeah, agreed. So I'm going to take, what else? There are There are some, and this kind of leads us into the Avi Loeb throwing Brian Cox and Neil deGrasse Tyson under the bus. And we're going to go. We're minutes away from the interview that's breaking the internet. I hate that saying. There's a few words I hate, right? I mean, that's like creator, influencer. I'm an influencer. Journey. Everything's right? Am I right? Everything's a journey. You go to Bathroom Body Works or whatever to buy new soap. It's like you're on a buying soap journey. Oh, really? Everything's a journey. I go fill up my cup with more water. Well, I'm on a water journey. Everything's a journey. Everything, like, I hate the word. I hate the word. It's not a journey. Most things aren't a journey. It's just moving from A to B. I mean, that's, interstellar. I know. Wait, there was something else I was going to say. I forgot. I was leading into it. Interstellar Comet 3I Atlas shines in new image captured after close pass by the photo. Now, Avi was up in arms about, photos and inverse, reverse tails and things like that. And so they did release all the images today. And the 4 conspirators at NASA, wait till you see them. I have pictures of them. I have video of them talking about 3I Atlas. Oh, they're sneaky buggers. Astronomer, oh man, Gianluca Massi captured a spectacular image of interstellar comet 3I Atlas on November 19th as it raced headlong away from the sun following a close pass of our parent star on October 29th, an event known as the perihelion. Perihelion. Now, of course, Avi was saying that, well, release the pictures. Look, it has no comet tail. It has no comet. Now, there's reasons why for a while when 3I Atlas passed around that it didn't have a comet tail. There were reasons. But here we have pictures, and there's actually multiple tails. Itchy nose, sorry. So that goes into the details. But anyway, there's a whole bunch of... Okay, don't need that. So let's get right into this interview, shall we? I mean, this is really going to form, where are we here? I'm going to put that like that. And so this interview was done actually just a few hours ago. It was done by, I think it was done in Israel, Israeli, obviously the accents, right? Avi is a Israeli Harvard astronomer. What? He is. He's an Israeli Harvard astronomer. I mean, what? I'm not saying. I didn't imply anything. I didn't say the J word. But he is. I mean, this was done, I think, in Israel. It's why I've maintained the sensationalism around 3I Atlas, which has got every dumbass who was kind of like a pseudoscience person putting up. You should see some of the videos that got put up today on 3I Atlas. Literally, if Avi Loeb like went to a compound and called everyone over and said, look, join the 3I Atlas cult, he could do a whole new hail pop. Like, I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. So let me pull this up here. Oh, video file. How come it didn't go? Usually it goes right to the file that I requested it to go to. Okay, show files. There we go. Okay, so this is, like I say, a brand new video interview. And I've added some stuff. So I've added some NASA stuff. I got a little bit of Brian Cox stuff. But this is where like I listened to this. I go, I mean, this is really tacky. I have no respect for the man. I have no respect for Avi Loeb. None. He's not a scientist. He's not an astronomer. He's basically acting like a sensationalist slob. I don't know what the right word is. No respect for. But that's just me. Let's watch this.
NASA is hiding.
Hold on a sec. There we go. Okay, so we start. Here we go. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready?
do you think NASA is hiding information from the public?
We are seeing a delay by 43 days in the release of images that were taken by the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter. There was a camera called HiRISE.
Yeah, 40. Okay, hold on a sec. And I got the graphic up. For a delay, maybe I got to put a delay of 43 days. What else lasted 43 days? What else was it? I don't remember what it was. Was it? Oh, it's on the screen. Oh, right. The shutdown. The shutdown was the 11th government shutdown that resulted in the federal employees being furloughed, yada, 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 lasting for 43 days. And of course, Avi makes it sound like there's a 43-day conspiracy. They conspire.
We are seeing a delay by 43 days.
What?
We are seeing a delay by 43 days in the release.
What are we talking about? So literally, how do you trust someone or believe someone when he tries to take the idea that the government will shut down for 43 days and that NASA delayed things for 43 days as his basis for that NASA is conspiring? Right there. If you do not question everything this guy says, I'm not going to call you a name. I'm not going to. This eliminates his credibility. Why not say, well, NASA was shut down for 43 days, so we didn't get images for 43 days. But now that we got them, right? Shut down for 43 days.
We are seeing a delay by 43 days.
43. It's exactly.
We are seeing a delay by 43 days in the release of images that were taken by the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter. There was a camera called HiRISE, which is half a meter in diameter and should have provided us with the best resolution image of 3I Atlas, this interstellar visitor. I think it's a new opportunity. In fact, I was on vacation a couple of days later because of the 4th of July. And I told my wife I have to write this paper where I calculated how much material we expect in interstellar space per unit volume. And
I mean, okay. So, and the link is in the description for this full interview. It's like an hour and a half. So the link is in the description. So you can go into this gentleman's website, YouTube channel. So he gets full credit. I mean, it's like 200,000 views already. It's a small channel. But so he's talking about how he calculated how much, what he's talking about now, how much stuff is whipping around in the Milky Way. We believe the Milky Way is 120,000 light years across. We now think it's actually bigger. There's evidence to suggest the Milky Way is actually bigger. 150, 180, even some say it's twice the size as we first thought. Maybe. Call it still 400 billion stars in the Milky Way. And Avi is suggesting that he knows exactly how much material is flying around 400 billion stars. I don't think frickin' Captain Kirk and Spock knew how much material is flying around. Just in 10 years, obviously because our techniques have gotten better, we've spotted 3 alien pieces, not aliens, just stuff outside of our solar system that has come into our solar system. But he was on vacation on July 4th and he calculated exactly how much debris is floating around in the Milky Way. I don't know. I don't know. Well, where do you start? Like, what's the math? Where do you start? Well, I multiply by 120,000 light years and I take the inverse square of... come on.
Show that we shouldn't expect the delivery of such a giant object once per decade. It should arrive to the inner solar system once per 10,000 years.
See, a large large comet like 3I Atlas should only come once every 10,000 years. Therefore, it's an alien ship. What? How do you know how many? What size of? How do we? This it's so frustrating because it's almost like you're listening to propaganda. The argument is as weak as any argument could be. On July 4th, I did calculations and I figured out exactly how much debris is flying around in the Milky Way. And I know exactly how often a big comet should fly by into our solar system. Okay, you stick with that, Avi.
Longer. So there is just not enough material out there. And so
Not enough material. It's not enough.
it's very surprising. And then it turns out, on that paper, actually, when I submitted it, the editor accepted it for publication within a week after the object was discovered. But the editor insisted that I remove a sentence at the end of the paper. And
So we did a paper, and the editor insisted that he remove the last sentence from his paper. What do you think that sentence said? So this is probably a pretty good science. It didn't say what publication. I'm thinking it's a pretty good science paper, right? And he wanted the last sentence removed. What was that sentence?
I basically said in that sentence, either the object is actually much smaller than we think, maybe less than a kilometer in size, or it might have targeted the inner solar system. It should be rare, but then maybe on purpose it arrived. It's not just a random rock on a random trajectory.
On purpose, it arrived. What evidence? So he talks about evidence, right? He always talks about evidence. He throws Brian Cox here under the bus pretty soon because the whole idea of evidence, Brian Cox is just a showman. He is an astrophysicist. He's a particle physicist. We're going to go through Brian Cox's resume. But to Avi Loeb, Brian Cox, he don't know shit. He's just a pretty boy with a pretty smile. Would you go drinking with Brian Cox? Damn right you would. Brian, give me a call. Mr. Cox. Mr. Cox. I'll call you I'll call you whatever we want. Let's go. Let's talk. Anyway.
And so
Avi
the
Loeb.
editor said, then I will not accept it for publication unless you remove that sentence. And I thought to myself, well, we haven't evolved much since the days of the Vatican, banning Galileo, putting him in house arrest for saying something that they regard as heresy. I mean, this editor was basically using his power just to force me to remove one sentence out of a whole paper.
So basically, Avi Loeb, at the end of this paper, he wants to put in there that it's like by design that the 3i Atlas came. Aliens, right? An alien sent this thing, and he's equating it to Galileo being under house arrest for the rest of his life by the Roman Catholic Church. I mean, we could go into the 1,000-year decline of humanity given 1,000 years of religious, Roman Catholic rule, but I won't get into that right now. So Galileo, one of the most brilliant men in the history, was under house arrest because he said the sun is at the center. And oh boy, the church knew the earth was at the center because everything falls towards the earth, right? Everything comes towards it. So the earth knew. And because Galileo, and of course he wrote some things, and Galileo spent how many last years of his life under house arrest. So he's equating his victimhood because he wanted to put a sentence about aliens sent 3i Atlas, and the editor said, no. Take the sentence out. We don't need that shit in there. And he's equating himself. He's now Galileo. Avi Loeb is Galileo.
What is the big deal? It's because I'm a rebel, I wrote a full paper following that on the technological option.
He's a fucking rebel, man. He's a fucking rebel. Sorry for the swear. Can you say Avi Loeb saying rebel? Because I'm a rebel? I'm a rebel? You're a rebel? Who do you think would win? Avi Loeb or Brian Cox? Just one-on-one, right? Just pow. Who do you think would win, me or Joe Rogan? One-on-one. I was a kickboxer. I could take him. Just kidding. Yes.
And that one was published after peer review in a different journal. But the same editor went to the New York Post and said it's nonsense on stilts to consider a technological origin. And
so someone else said it's nonsense. What is it? What was it? Nonsense on stilts? I mean, that's a really nice way of saying you're being an idiot. That's a really nice way of putting it. So when everyone is telling you the same thing, when everyone is saying, And the editor is saying, I don't want that. Take it out. He pulls out victimhood. I'm a Galileo. They're going to put me under house arrest because I thought 3i Atlas was an alien spaceship. And NASA is conspiring. We will see in a little bit. Remember, this interview just happened a few hours ago. This is brand new. This is breaking news, my friends.
I thought it's completely inappropriate, and I still think so. And this editor is also, popularizing science in the UK, and he was joined.
Oh my God, this editor is popularizing science in the UK. The son of a bitch. He is popularizing science in the United States. Heresy, I say. Heresy. That's why Avi doesn't like him. He's popularizing science in the UK. This is... Oh my God.
Joined by Brian Cox recently that said it's nonsense, and also Neil deGrasse Tyson said it's most likely a comet. And
oh no, Neil deGrasse said that? Hey, you know what? There are a lot of Neil deGrasse Tyson detractors. There are. I mean, he does love the spotlight, but he's a good talker, man. He talks. He actually Carl Sagan. Neil deGrasse Tyson was Carl Sagan's protege. And worked many years with Carl Sagan. I mean, if I could have worked with Carl Sagan, oh man, right? I mean, that's nice on the resume. But Neil deGrasse Tyson has a skill in communication. So does Brian Cox. But they're both physicists. Let's keep going.
The acting.
How do you explain that?
How do you explain? Well, I know. It's NASA conspiracy. Oh, these are my friends. Let me point to you the source of the evil. I present to you the 4 conspirators at NASA. Do they look like anything other than freaking scientists? Like, seriously. These are the, look at them. NASA, as Avi Loeb has stated, is out there not providing the right information. They're withholding stuff. They're conspiring. I have an entire video, a minute and a half, of these guys talking about 3i Atlas. Have you ever heard actual NASA scientists talking about 3i Atlas? What they actually say?
So some of the differences I already mentioned is the ratio, the carbon dioxide to water ratio, the nickel to iron ratio. Also, there were ground-based observations.
Again, this is NASA. These are the NASA, NASA piece for 3i Atlas, explaining the stuff that Avi thinks. This is what makes it an alien spaceship. Aliens. It's a 20-mile alien spaceship. But these are the NASA guys that Avi is accusing of conspiring.
Noting that the polarization of the light reflected off the dust was also unusual. So that's telling us some interesting things about the dust. There are other indications that the physical properties of this dust, maybe the grain size distribution, might be different from the sorts of things that we're used to. The appearance of a sunward tail early on in the trajectory was part of that, an indication that the dust was being pushed off the comet on the sunward side, and then it took a while for the solar radiation pressure to push it back the other way. That's been seen before in other comets, but...
And so these are all things that Avi Loeb has kind of tried to twist in his assertion that 3i Atlas is an alien spaceship. And here's like just some NASA scientists, just, here's what it is.
Not very often. I'm sorry, Ken, what was the second part of the question?
Did it explode?
The jets. Yeah. The jets, right. So seeing more activity in the inner coma around the nucleus, right around the time of perihelion, when it's being warmed most intensely, is something that happens frequently. That's something the comet observers are going to be very, very excited about. It does take some time to figure out, because it takes time for the actual event that happens on the surface to propagate out to a distance where you can see it with a telescope. But people are going to be mapping what jets there are. It doesn't necessarily mean there was an explosion. Jets can also just mean there are particularly active areas on the surface of the comet where more volatile stuff is evaporating in that one spot than elsewhere and jetting out. We saw this a decade ago with the ESA Rosetta mission at Comet 67P. It got up close and personal with the nucleus and saw frequently that there were jets coming out from specific places on the nucleus of the comet. So that could very well be what's going on.
Those are your NASA conspirators, your 3i Atlas NASA conspirators. And here's the thing, you know what would be really messed up about 3i Atlas? What would really be strange? If it had the composition of our solar system. The thing has just flown they say this thing might have been flying for 7 or 8 billion years. Almost twice the age of Earth in our solar system. What would be really strange if it had the composition of comets within our solar system? That would be strange. You would expect that comets outside alien comets, not aliens, but comets coming outside of our solar system would have an extremely different composition, especially after being hit by radiation for 7 or 8 billion years. It would have a different composition. No, Avi. Maybe these guys are like alien lizard people. NASA is like full of like alien lizard people. But these are the NASA scientists that Avi Loeb says are trying to screw us with bad information.
Here, can't tell for sure, but that's the sort of thing we've seen before.
The other thing I just want to say that we're expecting to see as more stuff gets thrown off this comet in these jets is at those warmer temperatures, additional things can bake off of it, additional gases can bake off, and so we do expect the composition of the coma to potentially change, or those jets to change over time. And looking at the details of what other molecules we detect beyond the carbon dioxide and water we mentioned is also going to be interesting, especially for that sort of like, what was this stuff? What was the area in this? What was this stuff made of in the area it was made like long time ago?
Right.
I mean, and of course, as new gases are released from 3i Atlas, you just know that Avi Loeb is going to be sitting there. I mean, who's been doing all of this for clicks and popularity? There's only one person that has benefited from this, Avi Loeb. One person who gets all the headlines and all the clickbait garbage. We cannot even enjoy the fact that an outside comet, a large outside comet has come into our solar system. We can't even enjoy the fact that we have an alien visitor, not organic. Yes, it is inorganic. We can't even enjoy the fact. Avi Loeb's got to just ruin it for everybody, right? He's got to turn it all into... The evidence that it is anything other than a flipping comet is zero. Zero. And he thinks these guys... How do I do this? These people. I don't know. I don't know what to say.
How do you explain that?
So I explain it very, very simply. These people are not, the Brian Cox and Neil deGrasse Tyson are not practicing science. They are just...
Brian Cox, wait. Brian Cox is not practicing science. Brian Cox is not practicing science. Hold up. Hold up. Where is it? Which one is it? This one? Okay. Brian Cox is not practicing science. I can... I should have opened it up in another screen. So physicist Brian Cox works at CERN, where he is a member of the Atlas experiment experiment at the Large Hadron Collider. He is also a professor at the University of Manchester and a Royal Society professor for public engagement in science. See, I mean, look, Brian Cox is, as Avi Loeb says, he's got no resume. Hold on. His role at CERN, Cox works on the ATLAS experiment, which studies the forward proton detectors for the Large Hadron Collider. He previously served as the co-spokesperson for the whole bunch of at CERN. His academic position, he holds a chair in the particle physics at the University of Manchester. A chair. Am I impressed? Yeah, okay, I'm impressed. He has public engagement roles at the Royal Society Professor for Public Engagement in Science, a role he uses to explain science to the public through his television shows, books, and anyway. Brian Cox, an astrophysicist who crashes electrons together. Avi Loeb just can't help
talking about it. It's like a soccer
but to throw Brian Cox and Neil deGrasse Tyson into the
match where you have players in the field and there are commentators and
what?
Obviously, the commentators want to be popular, so they say whatever is popular within, the audience, and so they feel the direction of the wind. Okay, so they realize, many of the people in the mainstream of science think that it's a comet. I will say that it's a comet.
So basically, Brian Cox and Neil deGrasse Tyson and everyone else is just saying things to get attention. Are you fucking kidding me? They're just like pretty boys. They're just pretty boys out there. And Avi Loeb is the sane one. Avi Loeb is the sane person talking about things that make sense, while Brian Cox is saying nothing but being a patsy to the science audience. That's what he's saying. That's what he's saying.
That's basically how they operate. Now, I'm a player in the field. And I look at the evidence and I make my judgment and I write scientific papers on the object. So the main difference between me and them is that I can score a goal, they cannot, because they want to be liked. That's the way to understand.
I mean, this is absolutely asinine, right? This is absolutely asinine. I mean, how else? It's just they're all Brian Cox and Neil deGrasse Tyson, all the astrophysicists. They're just saying that it's a comet. They just want to be liked. they just want to be liked. That's it. I mean, they're just patsies. Brian Cox is just a patsy, and Avi Loeb is the smart one in the room. Avi Loeb is a dunce. He's an idiot. How does he have a job at frickin' Harvard? He's a stupid. Now I know. Okay. He's an intelligent guy. Obviously he's smart. But what he's talking about with 3i Atlas is freaking moronic. He's an idiot. Now he's calling everyone else out that doesn't agree with him. Brian Cox is an idiot. Neil deGrasse Tyson is an idiot. Because they're just trying to appease the regular science community. The only one who's right is Avi Loeb. That's it.
And the problem with wanting to be liked is that you're not close to the truth. And so let me give you an example. There is the dominant theme in theoretical physics over the past 50 years has been string theory, which basically assumes that there are extra...
Do you guys know about string theory? Right? We've all heard about string theory. Everyone knows string theory is 100% theoretical. 100%. Brian Cox is actually... Go to YouTube and go Brian Cox string theory. He says very little on string theory, except for the basics, and that there is no factual evidence to suggest that string theory works in the math. The math for string theory works if you include 10 dimensions. I have a video that I did on string theory. And I learned a lot digging into, the deep recesses of what string theory is. Brian Cox has never said anything much except that string theory is, string theory is theoretical. And I agree, maybe string theory should not be this big of a part of the science discussion. I don't necessarily disagree with Avi Loeb on this part, but he's going to talk more about string
spatial
theory.
dimensions. And we have not seen any evidence for that.
Nobody said there was evidence for string theory. It's freaking absolutely theoretical. Nobody has said there's freaking evidence.
Moreover, the theory itself has different versions, and we don't know which one is correct. Moreover,
there's multiple versions.
There was never an experimental test, and there is no experimental test of any of these versions in the foreseeable future. So I think it's a new opportunity.
Sorry.
Is that you're not close to the truth. And so let me give you an example. Has different versions, and we don't know which one is correct. Moreover, there was never an experimental test, and there is no experimental test of any of these versions in the foreseeable future. So they cannot come up with a...
Everybody knows that string theory is 100% theoretical. Everybody knows. Nobody says that string theory has been proven because it is impossible. It is impossible to do any tests to verify string theory. It's only the math. It's like a Star Trek warp drive, right? You can do the math, and the math works out. But it's like, imagine a mathematician or Alcubierre, he does his little things in the physics, and hey, look, we can, Alcubierre says we can make a warp drive. It works. The physics works. And then he goes to Elon Musk and says, here's the math for a warp drive. And Elon Musk looks and says, well, what the fuck do you want me to do with this? Build it. Build what? It's just math. There's no engineering. It's the same with string theory, which Avi Loeb is bringing as a way to equate his alien theory in Three-Eye Atlas with string theory that nobody says. There's no math to support his alien Three-Eye Atlas theory. There is math to support string theory if you include 10 dimensions. I think there's one of the string theory versions is 11 dimensions. I'm not sure if there's spatial dimensions or temporal dimensions, because those are two very different things. Spatial dimensions, which is based on, the tesseract would be, the version of a fourth dimension with our third dimension, right? A spatial, or temporal, where time is the fourth dimension. Very different. I mean, the two are very different. But again, nobody is saying freaking string
way of testing the idea. Nevertheless, it dominates the landscape of theoretical physics. And all the practitioners are doing intellectual or mathematical gymnastics to impress each other. They give each other honors, awards, and so forth. But it has this is completely speculative. There is no direct evidence for the reality.
So string theory is absolutely speculative, but the math works, right? You can do the math. Like, I wouldn't even like to see that math. I don't even want to take that university course to see what the math looks like. But his theory that Three-Eye Atlas are frickin' aliens is not speculative. There's not 1 ounce of frickin' proof. But yet he jumps to string theory as an analogy to say, they're aliens. Oh, what's fuck? Like, this is not a dumb man, but he's acting like a fucking idiot.
Of string theory describing physics, the physical reality that we live in, may have nothing to do with string theory. Nevertheless, for 50 years, you have the mainstream doing that. I don't see Brian Cox or Neil deGrasse Tyson saying anything negative about string theory. It's completely speculative. So if they have this gut feeling that they should protect science as always telling the truth to the public.
Again, go to YouTube and check out what Brian Cox has said about string theory. Brian Cox has said nothing except basic things that is theoretical, and of course the understanding of what string theory is. Why is he throwing Neil deGrasse Tyson and Brian Cox under the bus? Because he doesn't agree with him? So because Brian Cox has said, look, you know how Brian Cox is, right? He's always smiling. Like, how would you not enjoy dinner with Brian Cox, right? I mean, even with Neil deGrasse Tyson, dinner with Neil deGrasse Tyson would be, be fun. Or both of them. I'd be buying wine or heated GMs all night long. But never has once any of them stated, because they disagree with Avi Loeb's alien theory, they're dumb, I guess. Is that what he's saying? Is Avi? Oh,
about things that were verified, and nothing speculative should be considered until it's verified. If that was their motivation, they would say something about string theory. They haven't said it. Why? Because there is a whole community doing it. They want to be popular. Therefore, they will never go against the wind. They will never say anything. And so they just...
So what Avi Loeb is saying, to solve that, Brian Cox and Neil deGrasse Tyson should just say that 3i Atlas is an alien spaceship. To solve that, they just want to be popular. They don't want to go against the wind. To solve that, in Avi Loeb's eyes, Brian Cox needs to just come out and say, "Look, what I was trying to explain is that 3i Atlas is actually an alien spacecraft." That would appease this moment. Never has a Harvard professor looked so stupid. I hate cutting down people. I do. I'm a happy man. There is no benefit. But when stupidity comes out of someone's mouth who isn't intelligent, this man is intelligent. I will not take that away from Avi Loeb. He is a smart man, but he's acting stupid. And now he's throwing Neil deGrasse Tyson and Brian Cox under the bus because they disagree with him, because he's calling 3i Atlas a comet. Everyone's calling 3i Atlas a comet. Everybody except Avi Loeb. Fuck.
Just act to represent whatever they see is popular in the environment. They have nothing to do with the truth, and therefore whatever they say is irrelevant.
Everything, it just keeps going. Everything Brian Cox and Neil deGrasse Tyson say is irrelevant. They just go with it. Just keep going. Just go with it. And so the only way to appease Avi Loeb is just to look, okay, I'll say it. It's an alien spacecraft. It's an alien spacecraft, Avi. Can I be part of your group now? Can I be a part of the Avi Loeb Hail Bop crowd?
Okay, so I completely ignore these people because they haven't written a scientific paper in the last decade. Who cares about what they say? They just come.
Brian Cox has not written a scientific paper in the last decade, but yet he oversees proton collisions at the CERN, at the Hadron Collider.
And it's sort of like an echo of what they hear, and they just put it out. And they are influencers. They have a lot of followers. So they cultivate.
They're influencers. They are not Brian Cox is not an astrophysicist. He's an influencer. He does nothing more than what I do. He's not an astrophysicist or someone who works at CERN. Now, Neil deGrasse Tyson, you've listened to me, Neil. You're a freaking influencer with your star talk, okay? Oh, man. Neil deGrasse Tyson and Brian Cox are nothing but influencers, says Avi Loeb.
A culture where people say things that are not necessarily true just because they're popular. Who cares? That's not what science is about. I mean, the idea of Galileo was not popular at the time, but the church in 1992 said Galileo was right. After centuries, 350 years after he died, they admitted he was right. Now, what does it show you? That popularity among humans have nothing to do with the truth.
He's equating himself with Galileo again, right? He's equating himself with Galileo Galilei. My opinion of 3i Atlas, which that is an actual intelligent design alien spacecraft or some sort of equates to Galileo Galilei being imprisoned at home by the church. I am the modern day Galileo Galilei, and my name is Avi Loeb. Yeah, motherfucker, and I'm Science Jesus. All right? Oh, jeez. You better laugh at that. Whether
the earth moves around the sun or not has nothing to do with what the Pope said. And in fact, the Earth moved 4.5 billion times around the sun before the Vatican even existed. So just imagine the Earth going around and around 4.5 billion times, around. 4.5 billion.
Yes, that's 4.5 billion years, Avi. We got it. 4 revolutions around the sun is 4.5 billion years.
Times, and then comes the Vatican and says the sun moves around the Earth. Who cares? The Earth continues to move around the sun. So the fact that something is popular or something is liked on social media, or there is a mainstream within particle physics talking about extra dimensions, has nothing to do with the validity of the idea. Maybe extra dimensions do not exist. You haven't verified it experimentally.
You haven't verified it experimentally, so what the fuck are you talking about? Have you verified anything that 3i Atlas is an alien spacecraft? Now you're talking about... Is he talking about string theory that Brian Cox hasn't verified experimentally that string theory exists? But yet he could just come out and... When it comes to social media, my friends, we're going to go through and do a daily 3i Atlas search on YouTube. The stuff that's coming up has his face written all over it. Who's getting all the social media attention? Do you think Brian Cox, have you seen, the only reason Brian Cox is in any social media is when they're AIing his face or Michio Kaku. Otherwise, this mofo is getting all the clicks, all the attention, because everyone that wants to believe that aliens exist has found a new hero in Avi Loeb. Avi Loeb, alien protector.
We don't even have an idea for an experiment in the future that will test it. And so the fact that it's popular is irrelevant. I mean, it's good for mathematics, but may have nothing to do with the physical reality that we live in. I mean, also think about quantum mechanics. Nobody expected it. It came as a shock. And Albert...
100 years ago. Like they literally, like, quantum mechanics came in like... Now he's equating his alien to quantum mechanics, which the work in quantum mechanics is extensive.
Einstein had a problem with it. And then Niels Bohr, and I visited the Niels Bohr Institute just a few months ago. Niels Bohr...
And they let you in? Really? They let you in?
Said, no, it's a different way to think about reality. And Einstein resisted that. And Niels Bohr was right. So, here is another situation where it was popular to think like Einstein, and then comes evidence for a completely different conception of reality. And
now he's comparing himself to Einstein and quantum physics. The whole idea that 3i Atlas is an alien spaceship. Now he was equating himself to Galileo Galilei. Now he's equating himself to Einstein and quantum physics. Because when quantum physics first came out, Einstein wasn't a believer. It was very theoretical. It was such a, 100 years ago, like when it first came out. It made sense to kind of question it. I mean, Einstein just came out with the theory of relativity. But now, Avi Loeb's quest that 3i Atlas are aliens is now he's using Galileo Galilei and Einstein to equate his theory of alien spaceship and 3i Atlas.
all the gadgets that we use, this microphone, the cameras, are all based on understanding of quantum mechanics. It's all electronics, quantum mechanics. So we are using a theory, quantum mechanics, that was initially beyond the horizon of the imagination of the very best scientists back then. And so whatever physical reality is has nothing to do with popularity among humans. I don't care what people say. That's completely irrelevant. I don't have any footprint on social media. I don't care what...
He has no footprint on social media. But he is the subject of virtually all social media dealing with 3i Atlas. You don't need a footprint. I have a pretty small footprint. Like, I am not a social media guy except for some YouTube stuff and X. He is literally, anything with 3i Atlas, it's Avi Loeb. Because people buy the bullshit.
What Brian Cox said, it's completely irrelevant. He's not even practicing science, so who cares?
Yeah.
Brian Cox is not even practicing science. Brian, you want me to go? I'll fucking go. You want me to? I'll go 3 rounds with Avi Loeb. Actually, I know he's like 80 pounds. I won't. I'm just kidding. Like at every opportunity, he's taking swings. Brian Cox is such a nice. I have never heard Brian Cox cut anyone down, ever. I've watched a lot of Brian Cox. I have never heard Brian Cox. He gives credibility to everyone's opinion, even if he disagrees with it. Neil deGrasse Tyson too. I mean, I know there's a lot of Neil deGrasse Tyson detractors. There's lots of them. But Neil is not an asshole, right? He communicates very well, and that's why people like to listen to Neil. But Brian Cox, have you ever heard him say anything mean? I've said way more mean things. If Brian Cox and I were like friends, I'd be like the mean guy. And I'm not a mean guy, right? Brian Cox isn't even practicing science. Oh, wait. Or is he? Oh, Brian Cox is the physicist. He's a physicist. He's a member of the Atlas experiment at the Large Hadron Collider. He is also a professor at the University of Manchester and a Royal Society professor for public engagement in science. His role at CERN, Cox works on the Atlas experiment, which studies the forward proton for the Large Hadron Collider. He previously served as the co-sponsor. Okay, Avi.
My point is, we should look at the evidence. If there are anomalies, we should try to explain them. And it's possible that all the ideas that were contemplated in the past, missed the point. Now, let me just say one more thing. Comet experts, people who claim that they are experts, they are self-declared experts, okay?
The only expert here is Avi Loeb. Brian Cox, you're dumb. Brian Green, you're dumb. Michio, you're dumb. He's all dumb, man. The only smart one on this world is Avi, because he's the one that sees the aliens, little munchkins on the. There's only one smart guy in the room. His name is Avi. 3 letters. AVI.
Comet experts are just like AI systems in the sense that whatever AI systems, artificial intelligence systems are saying, depends on their training data set. You just feed them with some data set, and then they use that to say something.
What? Did I miss? What?
Now, the training data set of comet experts is solar system comets. That's what they've seen in the past. So it's always about icy rocks. Okay, so therefore...
icy rocks. You just see... You can just see Brian Cox or Neil deGrasse Tyson. They look into a telescope. There's a comet, a brand new comet. Because that's all I see is rocks. It's just rocks. What is that? Is that a comet? What is that? I just see rocks. What are we? Okay.
Familiar with icy rocks. Anything they see in the sky, they call it an icy rock. On January 2nd, there was a near-Earth object that was classified as an asteroid by the Minor Planet Center, and then a day later they realized, oh, sorry, this one moves along the path of the Tesla Roadster car that was launched by SpaceX. So it's actually a car, it's not a rock. So sorry, they took it out of the catalog.
Yeah.
Was there an alien in the car? Was there maybe a couple of aliens? Shooting back a little JD.
And my point is, we have other objects that we launched to space. These are technological objects. All I'm asking is, let's take these objects and add them to the training data set of comet experts. Why? Because the first interstellar object was Oumuamua. Didn't have any cometary features. There was no dust, no gas around it, didn't evaporate, no tail. The experts decided, last year to call it a dark comet, meaning an object that has non-gravitational acceleration, and you expect from a comet that if it evaporates, but you see no sign of evaporation. So you call it a dark comet, which is an oxymoron. You would call a spacecraft
when oxymoron, when Avi Loeb, holy jeez. Do you remember the fiasco with Oumuamua and Avi Loeb? I mean, he looked like an ass astronomer, ASS. I actually have a bet. I'm trying to put it out there. I called Harvard. I called Harvard. Serious. This is a serious bet. I'm serious. With Avi Loeb. He takes the alien side. It's aliens. I take the it's not alien side. And the loser gets to eat a little plate of squirrel poop. Just a small plate of squirrel poop. I haven't heard from Harvard. I've been calling Harvard every day. Hello, can I speak to Harvard? Avi Loeb, please. Who is it? Danny Alex? Sorry, who again? Danny? Who? Oh, fuck. No callback.
Dark comet.
No callback.
Because it accelerates without any cometary evaporation. So these people do not have in their training data set technological objects. That's the problem. And all I'm saying is just add them to your vocabulary. What's the problem? We launched technological objects. When objects arrived into the solar system and look weird, we should consider the possibility. That sounds to me like common sense.
One thing that is actually true, right? I mean, think of this, right? So we have Voyager 1 and Voyager 2. They just left our solar system, left the Oort cloud. They're heading out there. There will be a day. I think there will be a day. Like they'll last for millions, billions of years. Voyager 1 will go into a solar system, and there'll be like an Avi Loeb on the planet in that solar system. Everyone will be saying, it's a comet. It's just a little tiny, tiny piece of space debris. I said, no. It's a alien tech. And then they take a picture. Fuck, it is. It is alien tech. We are going to freak out some civilizations in the future, right? You know it's true. With all of the probes, New Horizon, right, went to Pluto. It's heading out there, right? So based on our plane and where all these things are going, actually, I think Voyager 2 took a different trajectory. But still, with all the probes we're sending out, it's going to hit a solar system. There's going to be an Avi Loeb who's going to be 100% correct in this alien solar system. And they're like, motherfucker, it's got a gold record on it. It's got a gold record. Yeah, can we play it? It could be millions, billions of years, but it's sending dozens of probes out there. However, I do not believe. So far, how many names has Avi Loeb called Brian Cox? I mean,
yeah. Okay. So I wanted to go into the 3i Atlas with current events, and first of all, the explanation for that you are giving is that it's alien tech. Am I correct?
No, I'm saying most likely it's a comet of a type that we've never seen before. But I'm saying it could be a technological object because it has some unusual features.
It could also be 3 elephants riding horses. It could be a lot of things. But in science, you just stick to the facts. You stick to the known facts. You don't discuss. I mean, it's fun to discuss the possibilities, right? But you don't dwell on the possibilities, and you put the possibilities out there like it's a matter of fact, which is what Avi Loeb has done for the past 3 months, 4 months. He's put stuff out there as a matter of fact. To say there's a possibility, they go, wouldn't it be interesting if it's actually alien tech? And then you start a conversation around it. But every time something that doesn't go right, 43 days, NASA withheld data for 43 days and images. How long was the government shut down for? 43 days.
Most recently, a lot of jets were seen coming from it. And these could be thrusters, for example, because some of the jets are pointing towards the sun, some away from the sun. Very, very different behavior than the comets we're used to. But at any event, my point is that we must consider this possibility because of the huge implications to humanity. This is called the Black Swan event. I always give the example of October 7th because the intelligence agencies...
Of course he does. Now he's politicizing it. Now Avi Loeb is politicizing 3i Atlas. He's connecting it. Why the fuck would you do that? This is the multiple times I've heard Avi Loeb bring up Israel's October 7th. Imagine how many, I was about to say housewives. How many stay-at-home moms, I'm so PC, right? Fuck, I am PC, man. My pronouns are it and that. I want to be referred to as it and that. Those are my pronouns, okay? Can you imagine how many stay-at-home moms or stay-at-home dads, let's say the scientific community puts out there that there is a strong possibility that this 3i Atlas craft is alien tech. Imagine if the scientific community steps out and says that, where every evidentiary path takes us to the point that it's a comet. It sure muddies up the entire world's focus. It takes focus away from a lot of things. Because if you think that 3i Atlas and the general population think that there's a 40, Avi Loeb has said 4 out of 10, 40% chance that 3i Atlas is alien tech. It's literally freaking 0%. What we know right now, it is 0%. Nothing. But why bring up October 7th? He does this all the time. Why are you politicizing science? Why are you politicizing 3i Atlas? Yes, you are an Israeli Harvard astronomer doing an interview with an Israeli, and I'm not suggesting anything. You can take whatever you want from that, okay? But when you start pulling out shit and you start convincing people that there's a chance that aliens are coming, people are dumb enough as it is, right? Am I right? Society is dumb enough as it is. We've got dumb factor on our side. If you're going to start convincing people that there's a 40% chance this might be aliens and they just come and kick your ass, they're going to take you. They're going to take you and do experiments on you. They're going to what the hell happens to society? Society is bad enough as it is. It's freaking bad out there. And now we want to convince the world that there's a strong possibility that all these intergalactic travelers might be aliens.
We're dismissing the possibility of an attack. And, because of that, they didn't notice the anomalies in the data. And whereas for science that deals with subjects that have no implications to Earth, like, for example, you consider a galaxy billions of light years away, no implications to our daily life. That's the right approach. You say, at the 99% confidence, I think this galaxy is of this type and so forth. If you are wrong, nothing bad happens. However, when you have a visitor to your backyard that could be a potential threat to humanity, even if 1%, if it has some anomalies that make it a potential technological object at 1% confidence, you must take it seriously.
So there's a 0.00001% chance that this is alien tech. So every time something comes into our solar system, we need to ring the bell, freak out all the normies in America, in Mexico, in Canada, in Europe, in Asia, in Africa, in Australia. Oh, fuck. The Australians will buy that hook, line, and sinker, man. I know. I got Australian buddies. New Zealand, they'll fucking buy that shit all day long. My best friends are from New Zealand. Actually, I love people from New Zealand. Two of my best friends are from New Zealand. Awesome people. Awesome. But you would have put the fear of frickin' aliens and have the entire science community go along with it and convince the normies that every single thing that might come our way, that will come our way, because we've got thousands of telescopes pointing. We're finding this stuff now, and we're finding it because of the plane, right? The galaxies are built on a plane. Solar systems are built on a plane. There's a certain angle by which we discover stuff. But now our ability to discover things is so powerful, and it's only going to get more magnified. So we're going to be fighting this stuff left, right, and center. And you want the average American, Canadian, Mexican, Brazilian to think that, oh, there's a chance these are aliens coming. Man, people have seen alien movies. What's the best alien invasion movie? I don't like what I mean that's probably a whole show. But anyway, could you imagine what this world turns into if people start believing that aliens are coming and that 3i Atlas was actually an alien spaceship? Society's cooked. It's cooked.
Because the implications are huge. You multiply a small probability by huge implications, you must take it, meaning you have to collect as much data as possible, and you shouldn't ridicule the discussion. This is a completely new reality that we didn't face in the past, and the scientists are slow to understand that.
Okay, so you have given an explanation that I really wanted to go into even later about Galileo Galilei and the way that the scientific approach has been attacked throughout history.
Throughout history,
yeah. Many
there
times.
is nothing.
The scientific approach has been attacked throughout history. Avi Loeb is coming at 3i Atlas with a scientific approach, right? That's what he's saying. He's already tried to associate himself with his argument with Galileo Galilei. He tried to associate himself with Einstein, with his, and now he's basically, well,
New.
Yeah, this is how it goes.
Yeah.
So, but I want to stay on the on 3i Atlas because I think the scientific communities. I don't know if they know what it is. When
the entire scientific community is stupid, except for Avi Loeb. Brian Cox, you dumb, man. You dumb.
they speaking about it with a lot
Right.
of
So
confidence,
the less you
but
know,
also
the more
the public.
The less you know about the object, the easier it is for you to say, "Oh, it's probably just a comet."
Yeah.
And
So
The less you know about it. These freaking NASA scientists, right? Like 2, 3, 4, 500 of them. What do we know about this comet? Basically nothing. Should we listen to Avi Loeb because he seems to be the expert on it? Maybe we'll take some pictures. I don't know. We're like 3i Atlas dumb. So every scientist is dumb on this planet except for freaking Avi motherfucking Loeb.
people don't know about it.
Yeah, so the anomalies of this object, first I mentioned the size. If it ends up being very big, that's very unusual because you would expect smaller objects first, a lot of them. But the second thing is that it lies it moves in the plane of the planets around the sun. This is called the ecliptic plane.
Yes.
And it's within 5 degrees of the plane, the orbital plane of.
That is not a freaking anomaly. I woke up this morning and the sun was coming up and it was like a yellowy orange. Okay. What was that strange?
The Earth around the sun. And the chance of that happening at random, we did simulations with my student where we launched objects, interstellar objects from stars in the Milky Way galaxy, and you see them coming from all directions relative to the solar system. And the chance of finding one that is exactly aligned with the ecliptic plane of the planets around the sun is 1 in 500. And this is the third object from interstellar space. So, it's less than 1% chance that it would be aligned like that. Mm-hmm. But if it's on a reconnaissance mission, it would like to spend as much time as possible.
Avi Loeb has said that it could be a spaceship that's coming to seed Earth, and that it could be aliens that seeded Earth, and they're basically Prometheus, right? That it's aliens coming, that they seeded Earth, and they're coming to eradicate Pamspiria theory, right? But except it's like the engineers from Prometheus. The engineers for Prometheus. He has said this. So was it on a Monday that I did the episode 20 things that Avi Loeb has said verbatim? I have it here. I'll go over some of them tomorrow. Verbatim, he has said. One of those things was that aliens are coming here to seed Earth. And another one was that the aliens that have seeded Earth, they might be coming to eliminate it. So that's a really good thing to tell the homemakers of America. I think the Prometheus thing is real. I think Ridley Scott, he had such an incredible thing with the engineers on Prometheus, and he messed it up, man. All I wanted to know about were the engineers in Prometheus. That's all I wanted to know. That's what the next Alien should have been about, the frickin' engineers.
Near the planet. So that's what it's doing. It came close to Mars. It will come close to Jupiter. So that's the second anomaly. And then, there are many others. For example, it had a glow in the direction of the sun. It's called an anti-tail.
there's nothing that is weird about an anti-tail. It's based on where the Earth is, where the particles are, where everything is. So NASA actually came out today in a 55-minute interview, talked about the anti-tails. Every scientist in the world except Avi Loeb, Avi, oh God, that's fucking awesome. Avi Loeb. Oh, trademarked. None of you motherfuckers better use Avi Loeb. Avi Loeb, man. Avi Loeb. Every freaking scientist in the world, that's like, except Avi Loeb, who says these anti-tails. This is like, there's nothing here, bro. Avi Loeb. There's nothing new.
Whereas usually dust and gas get pushed away from the sun by the solar radiation and the solar wind.
Yeah, isn't it moving incredibly fast as well?
It's also moving faster than previous ones, but not unheard of for stars.
But what of all the anomalies? They are saying that to you that it's probably someone sent it. This is
no. So I'm saying it's unlikely to have this orbit, and of the critics are saying, yeah, but rare things do happen sometimes.
So that's where I stopped it. I didn't. I mean, so that was. Now I'm gonna get right into this. I'm not gonna. I can blab. I'm a great blabber. I can blab. I'm gonna go right into the 3i Atlas, the YouTube daily 3i Atlas. You guys will be. Have you ever seen this? Blown away. How do you do it? Was that what you do? You guys seen Katy Perry, that one clip when Katy Perry said, "So wait, math is a part of science"? Fuck, have you seen that? Where's my I got it light laughs. So, no, totally. So, on 3i Atlas, let's do a search. Let's do our search. 3i Atlas, there it is. Okay, 3i Atlas. I'm going to hit search. This is the latest of 3i Atlas. I am going to share this tab. So I went to YouTube and I hit I put in 3i Atlas. NASA reveals new images of interstellar. Okay, yeah. I get the space.com news right on my desktop. Top 10 TV shows. We don't need that. So this is, so you've just, if you've been with us, you just saw Avi Loeb throw Brian Cox under the bus. He's not doing anything, like they're doing nothing, even though he's a particle physicist at CERN. Neil deGrasse Tyson, he's probably just like, what, hanging out, drinking, like, drugs and going to, like, like, okay. I mean, I do like Neil deGrasse Tyson and Brian Cox. Avi Loeb has no right, because they've said nothing except that, look, I believe it's a comet. Oops, I definitely don't want that. Advertise. So here is my friends. This is always fun. Oh, geez. So, okay, got to remove that. Remove. And then we go to add this. Okay, there we go. So what this is, can I make this better? How do I make this better? Is that better? I think that might be better. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so all I've done is I've searched 3i Atlas in YouTube. And the clickbait, oh, wait a sec. What do you guys want for background music? I know what we want. I usually play circus music. I'm going to do something else this time. You hear that? It's Dr. Feelgood. Oh, you know, mother. Oh, yeah. And we trained actors, motherfucker. Dr. Feelgood. Avi Loeb. Here we go, guys. 3i Atlas on YouTube. What do we got? Is the sound okay? It's not too loud, is it? Yes, Daniel. 3i Atlas is a mothership. Our creators are there. Yes. Prometheus. Is that okay? You know what I don't do? I gotta use microphone so I can hear a good mix. But I'm gonna turn it up just a little bit. Should be okay. All right, I'm gonna turn that. Okay, 3i Atlas. Today, this is the last 24 hours of 3i Atlas. Avi Loeb on NASA's new 3i Atlas images. Avi Loeb reacts. Okay, well, that was with Fox 32. I listened to this because the media just gets so involved, right? And they just walk along. They just go along with this bullshit. I watched this interview. It's, oh, godless universe. How did I get so high? And we're live. So you know what? I'll say something about this thumbnail. I wasn't good. So it's a big spaceship, right? I saw this thumbnail. I was trying to find a thumbnail image for today's show. And I went to Adobe. Adobe stock has all the best goodies. And so I piped in 3i Atlas, and this came up, this image of the spaceship. And I thought, there's Brian Cox, there's Avi Loeb, and I love Brian Cox, right? Big Brian Cox fan. Not a fan of Avi Loeb, but that's a surprise. And so I said, no, I'm putting the mothership. That's the mothership, mofo. I just did a video on Stargate. You guys saw Stargate with Stargate Universe? Sorry. There's something took my attention. I'm like a little squirrel. I get my attention. So we did a video on Stargate, and so Stargate, the Destiny starship, the ship, amazing, right? Absolutely amazing. And so I released the video, and I'm in this like mentality. I thought, you know what? I'm going along, Avi. I'm a believer. So anyway, let's move on. 3i Atlas. So they hid everything. 3i Atlas, what NASA's didn't show us in the live stream. So the cosmic unknown is getting in there. I can't do this. I can't go for clicks, man. I can't do the clickbait bullshit. I can't. I won't. NASA shares interstellar comet 3i Atlas images. Oh, that's NASA. Of course, NASA. Conspirators. They are conspirators. Dr. Avi Loeb fires back at NASA. First reaction, the new NASA images of alien object 3i... Well, it is an alien object, right? 3i Atlas. That one's not. Outrageous! NASA releases new images of interstellar object. What is outrageous? Are they being honest? Oh, no. The Sawala Adderleys, family food, film, and fun. Yeah, no, they're lying to us, my friend. They're lying. Is that music's not too loud, is it? Hopefully it's not. I do love me some Motley Crue. I got some new music I'm going to be playing. New music. I'm going to be playing some new music, some different music. But I got a whole bunch of Motley Crue. NASA finally released full 3i Atlas image gallery. 15 spacecraft saw something with big picture of Avi Loeb. The wait is finally over. Yeah. 3i Atlas. 3i Atlas live stream. Are shocking announcements regarding 3i Atlas coming? Shocking. I mean, what is that? What is it really? It's between Mars and the sun. What NASA saw. Is that what they saw? Really? Shocking 3i Atlas truth. The shocking truth about NASA's 3i Atlas live stream revealed tonight. So some dude, forbidden knowledge dude's got the truth. Well, some guy in wherever, probably the United States, has got the truth. And he's going to share it. I don't know, man. Looks like Hail Bop to me. You're telling me that's not Hail Bop all over again? I'm sure he's got some great I'm sure. Like, I'm not, you know what? Sometimes I'll run for the comedy bit ahead of, but look. New images, 3i Atlas, new image right before NASA's big. What's going on here? It's a comet going around the sun. Chloe Abrams. Do you guys like Chloe Abrams? I do. I love Chloe. Love Chloe. Chloe kicks ass. I do. Phenomenon. What is 3i Atlas actually doing? What it's kind of came in. It did around the sun. It's kind of now it's leaving. What is it doing, Josh? I mean, it could be an okay video, right? We don't know. There's nothing sensational there, so I'm not going to. Professor Avi Loeb, they tried to silence me. You know what? I might do more of this interview tomorrow. I'm going to find some snippets and do a little bit of tomorrow, because he threw Brian Cox and Neil deGrasse Tyson under the bus so bad. I'm not going to read that, Moped Mike. Well, maybe I will. How about some Judas Priest? Oh, geez, I might be able to get myself some copyright Judas Priest. B. It's a bit loud, isn't it? Shoot. Hopefully that's better. Hopefully that's a little bit. To put it politely, Harvard scientist slams Brian Cox's three-eye atlas theory, and he did. He did. God, that's the third time. Oh my God. So I feel like I'm showing up. I'm showing up on the search. You know what what YouTube has done when you do a live stream, you go on what's called Mars. I've got the acronym. You do the mobile. So you broadcast mobile and on screen. So it creates two separate streams in essence. Randall Carlson's a bit of an icon, right? The moon is not what you think. It's not. We don't care about the moon, Randall. No one's lied. There I am again. Holy God. NASA's best image. Actually, it's not too bad today. 200%. Okay, breaking. Three-eye atlas just erupted. 1 million times bigger? 1 million? Megatrends. Really? You think that is prudent to just come out and say 1 million times bigger? Astronomers are stunned. And you got a picture of stunned Avi Loeb. Aliens detected. Who are the penguins? Are you guys excited for Wicked? No, I'm not either. I'm not excited for Wicked. Wicked. I'm not wicked for Wicked. Newsmax. Oh, there they got Michio Kaku. NASA detected movement inside Three-Eye Atlas. What's waking up after millions of years? This is all inspired from Avi Loeb. But if you guys, oh my God, James Webb just proved what scientists feared about Three-Eye Atlas. Feared, like scientists are walking around at home, literally in the mirror, doing that face. They're going, Three-Eye Atlas. Three-Eye Atlas broke the internet. Three-Eye Atlas. There's another AI Michio Kaku. Three-Eye Atlas just exploded. What does this mean for Earth? Michio Kaku. A couple more. Another Michio Kaku. Oh man, Three-Eye Atlas just sent a signal NASA can't explain. This is 2 hours ago. Michio Kaku. Eonverse, literally, they AI his face. They AI Michio Kaku's face. And then he even used his name. Brian Cox, something terrifying existed before the Big Bang. Who cares? None of us existed. How could something terrifying exist before the Big Bang? I know it's not Three-Eye Atlas. But they got 3.6 million views out of it, so maybe I should rethink my strategy, right? Who's the stupid one? Maybe. I never, I'm the dumbest one in the room because I'm also the smartest because I am the only one in the room. So, world's smartest kid claims Sir 2 months ago. That's it. Okay, 11 watching. Something else through a Atlas update. So there you go. That's So guys, basically we could turn Motley Crue off. So basically what we saw, to watch, and I'm gonna do more of the Avi Loeb interview tomorrow. Because if you were here for the interview, and you could go watch it on the restream, some of the things, I mean, it really is. I think it's borderline outrageous what Avi Loeb said about Neil deGrasse Tyson and Brian Cox. I have heard them say nothing negative. Maybe I'm wrong. You can send it to me and say, well, here's what Brian Cox. I've never seen anything mean ever come out of the mouth of Brian Cox. Never. Because he doesn't agree with you, obviously, you got to throw him under the bus. And this is what the scientific community is. This is what you want the scientific community to turn into. Then you literally bring up October 7th on your interview. In the first 15 minutes of the interview, you bring up October 7th. You're equating one with the other. You're equating Galileo Galilei with your argument that you're equating Einstein and quantum physics 100 years ago, that you seeing aliens in Three Eye Atlas is somehow equivalent to Einstein and quantum physics of 100 years ago. It doesn't make sense, my friend. It doesn't make sense. So I'm going to do a little bit more of that tomorrow. I think I think Avi Loeb is continuing to do himself an injustice. It's absolutely ridiculous. What it is. I mean, it is kind of fun, right? I'm going to go to some of these comments here. Moped Mike, Brian Cox is too nice, in my opinion, at times. That's true. That's true. I mean, that's his nature though, right? I mean, he is Mr. Nice Guy. I love Brian Cox. Like you know what? If people ask me, if you could go to dinner with anyone, who would you go to? My first person, you might be surprised who my first person is. If you had one person you could go to lunch with, who would you pick? My pick is Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Because assuming that he existed, I think there's plenty of arguments. I've done YouTube videos on arguments why he has not existed, and he was more the culmination of a few people, yada, 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 go on. And we're going to jump on, I'm doing an 8-hour stream on Christmas Day. We're going to jump into the historical Jesus on Christmas Day. So join me on Christmas Day. But if Jesus did exist, he was probably one of those guys, right? He probably has no idea what his name Jesus turned into. Number 2 is Brian Cox. I'd like to hang with Brian. So Brian, have your people call my people. I got no people, just call me. But yeah, he is right. You're right. Right. He's too nice at times. Oh, I don't need to read that last one. All right. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I got it. Yeah. No. I can't read Woonan. Come on, man. Don't say that stuff. I can't read that stuff. Come on. Oh, another one. Oh man. So Woonan, there's a guy Woonan, he's been drinking because on the comments. Damn, I can say damn bro. That's your comment. I'll read it out. Damn bro. That's cool. That's cool. The person known historically as Jesus, like the artist formerly known as Prince. That's not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad, Moped. It's not bad. So guys, tomorrow night, we're going to do this again. It's Thursday. It's going to finish off our week. I also do Pop Rages. I have another channel called Pop Rages. I'm a screenwriter. If you want to learn more about the stuff I've done in screenwriting, you Google Danny Alex screenwriting. I've won a lot of awards. I've done a lot of film festivals around the world. I've won in 17 countries. I do Pop Rages is a channel I've had for a while. I just fired it back up. Saturday nights, it's Pop Rages Live. It's Saturday night, baby. We do movies, pop culture, beverages, because it's Saturday night. So pop in, stop by on Saturday night on Pop Rages. What else do we have for this evening? I got the Avi Loeb. I got I got this and that. Joe Rogan. You want to know what I want from Joe Rogan? Did I mention it today? I'm going to mention it tomorrow. But basically, Joe Rogan and I are the two same people. Joe Rogan is 58. I'm 58. Joe Rogan is 5'8". I am 5'8" and a half. and a half. I was a kickboxer for 8 years. I still work out. I still punch. I mean, granted, I think, how would Joe Rogan do against a normie like me? Right? I learned boxing from the trainer of Willie DeWitt, who was a silver medalist, heavy medalist at the Olympics. That's where I got my boxing chops from. So my boxing chops are good, right? They're fucking. Joe Rogan, tail of the tape. Danny Alex, Joe Rogan, one-on-one. What can Joe Rogan do against a normie like me? It's out there, bro. Joe Rogan. You and me. We're probably about the same weight. We're the same height, same age. I am a little younger. I am 2.5 months younger than Joe Rogan. So I got him on age. As long as there's no hitting to the head, I'll be cool, right? Fuck. You fucking kick my ass. I'm not dumb. But I go, you know what? Hey, When you've been a boxer or a kickboxer, you've been in the ring, not fucking martial arts, you know. I mean, pound, you know, like getting hurt. I'll tell you, man, that headgear and those gloves, you think it protects, you think it doesn't hurt when you get hit? Put a pair of headgear on, boxing headgear. Have one of your friends put on 16-ounce gloves. Hit me. See what it feels like. These Tweety birds. It don't help much. And it probably is to explain a lot to why I am the way I am. You take enough hits to the head and this is what happens right here. I am the net result. Although Joe Rogan's a smart guy. I don't know. So anyway, guys, till tomorrow night, I really appreciate all of you guys hanging out. It's always my pleasure. And I appreciate it so much more than you know. I will see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening. Cheers.
Okay, children, let's take our seats.
Yeah, baby. We'll do it live. Fuck it.